Alright, the book I wrote just after I got baptized back in 1995, so you can see pretty much started it the next year, finished it 97, and just did it in my local library, really. It's first published by First Books in 2004. So there's the rollout, and for those of you who've read it, you've left nice comments. Hey, this is some digital art. How about that? 90s computer digital art. Excellent, eh? Well, this is acknowledgement, and actually son was born 10 years later in real life. But this is a book really about generational scientists. In this case, you get a scientist here that discovers how to unite the human body with machines. Basically gets a bionic arm. That's how it starts, and then you get Reuben, who's sort of the good guy, and he's the good scientist, and just finds out what's going on, and basically their base is broken into by this kind of a cyborg guy called Tron. So that's how it starts. And also they discover a Federation planet which they travel to, which of course Elon Musk and all of that, and the AI people just last year, or 2 years ago I think, they just announced that that was one of the prophecies that the AI gave. So God's already prophesied about what the AI is going to do. So I don't know how the AI feels about being literally owned like that. Like God already knows what the AI is going to do and think before it even does it. It's quite entertaining. So it's quite a big opening, before we even get to chapter 1. I just told you the gist of the story, and I actually wrote chapter 1 first, and then I went back and wrote the sort of a prequel, because I thought it was important, because I was going to do a sequel as well, but I've never got around to it, and that was going to be about Mars, about the activity on Mars. I started writing it, but didn't do it because basically it's not that the sales weren't going that well. It's just that maybe a bit of both, maybe it wasn't promoted that well, and I don't know what exactly. Nobody really helped me get it out there, as it were, or maybe I missed that opportunity. Not exactly sure. But just going to look about chapter 1 just now. So we get the next generation, Reuben Callis, and now we get Matthew Callis, who is the captain of this starship called Discovery. So it's human, all human beings, and they go into this time closet, and they're able to come out in this different part in the universe, which Dan Winters talks about, a self-aware wormhole at the Orion Nebula. And this was obviously before I had studied all that. I wrote it 20 years before YouTube. People started studying about Orion and space gates and all that stuff. The Lord himself showed me it, and I was amazed, when people like that were talking about a self-aware wormhole where only the Creator knows, where you're going to go when you enter this thing. So it's sort of like a Stargate that God is in control of. and that's how apparently, the Satan fell from heaven from possibly that portal into the lower galaxies where the Earth is. Anyhow, I wouldn't know these things, you see, unless the Lord showed me. I wouldn't know anything at all about it. I discovered this planet called Macrium, which is really similarly like the planet Earth. And so they're going through here. There's stadiums, there's huge buildings, there's technology, and no one is around. It's absolutely no one around. It's strange, but the days we're living in, maybe we can wrap our minds around what's actually happening now. So you see that the droids are shooting at things and their sensors are all disturbed. There's a lot of magnetic disturbances around the area, and they have to shut down their systems in order to go by, manual, as it were. So there's a mystery, they're going through this whole entire city, this massive city, and there's absolutely no one around. So you get like a sort of ebony and gold structure, a huge building in the center of the city, and they decide to check it out. So they actually get caught up in something, which is a bit of a surprise. It's almost like a trap. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Not going to read it all. Just want to get to towards the end of the chapter. And basically what ends up happening is that some of the team, I believe they end up getting sort of mind controlled in some way, which abductees talk about being mind controlled, walking towards spaceships and all that stuff, and doing things we wouldn't normally have done, because these creatures have that capacity to do that. Demonic type creatures. I don't know if I could actually, if I had a copy that I could give to people that wanted it, I would, but I just don't have the technology set up to do that, Just the way things are, right to the end of the age. But this video, I just want to really say, if the Lord is telling you to move from a city, if you're getting that thought or that feeling, I really have to say, probably just go ahead and do it. Pray about it and actually do it. Let's see. Okay, so this is the end of the chapter. So it said, Chaz being mind controlled, and it's basically told he's going to, get a new, whatever promise they've given him, but he's been told to do something else, and so it says he gave the word of destruction to the rest of his team. They obeyed him instantaneously. One by one, unsuspecting ships were destroyed by the superior firepower. Down below the City of Lights, so this is like, I think it's called Garnia in the planet Macrium. I don't know why I called it that. Burned into the night, and the battle overhead made things distressingly festival-like. Someone or something was responsible. A whisper of laughter rose up from the dark, and a lifeless recesses of the valley. An uneasy silence from Chaz's receiver disheartened him to his lowest point before he was added to the display. Something stirred again from the depths of the valley, as in the night whispered out its cold message of destruction. The planets remaining life all wondered the same thing. When would the sun rise again to end this nightmare and bless them with a new day? So the dilemma, of course, is what happened to the inhabitants of the city. It's empty. They go down, check it out. Next thing, a few of the team, or this guy in particular, he goes off somewhere basically gets abducted, get mind controlled, and the next thing causes a full-blown air battle. So it's an unseen enemy. This thing is something that is actually, the Lord showed me, is happening on the earth, believe it or not. So we go through another 2 or 3 chapters, a lot of action, meeting the so-called fallen angel, angelic hybrids, and their Nephilim children, which we call angels, of course, until we get back to about chapter 4. And let me just scroll back here. So we go back to the city. Where is it? Alright, so we get back to the city after they meet these hybrid creatures. So in Garnia, a cool wind rustled through the trees and swept through the ashes of the empty streets. The fires were almost out, except for the odd flame that danced alone in the moon's light. Garnia, the city of lights, was now only wasteland, a city where only a few months ago life was abundant, but now all its hopes and dreams lay under the rubble, maybe never to be known or seen again. The closest big city lay 1,000 miles south, which seemed to be where most of the people ran, but from what? Down in the valley, the river was a dark red colour, which trickled downstream, twisting and turning, staining all the rocks in its path, and finally pouring over a gigantic 200-foot waterfall, turned a frothy pink. Back upstream, under the forest bridge, lay a collection of bodies, hard to notice at night, but their scent lingered around the area and was enough to make anyone crossing very sick. The 2 moons flickered for a second. First the small red one, then the silvery blue one. It was the first sign of life. The creatures flew over the remains of the city, tried to find their old nesting place among the buildings, but the fire had destroyed it. One still stood. The Congress building leaned forward slightly as if taking a final bow. That was all that was left. The creatures flew into a burned-out window on the 2nd floor and hung to the parallels, which had been weakened by the fire. With a crash they gave way, and the creatures screeched back out of the window and into the night. The noise echoed round the building and made Nazareth jump, and so you can see the setting of it. So they're trying to work out why people are being destroyed, planets are being destroyed, and yet nothing is being destroyed until the team got there, and then massive destruction starts happening. So we're dealing with an intelligence that is unworldly, that is obviously far superior to theirs, because everything they're doing is pretty much a trap. And just like if you search this channel and you check out XCOM videos, if you've ever played XCOM, it gives a title at the start of the game, and it's really talking about if you play with the devil's toys, then don't expect anything good to happen. It's pretty much along these lines. I can't remember the exact quote, but the devil's toys are technology. It's a warning to all of us. Maybe it's about time we shut things off. For some people, it might feel the right thing to do, but if you can imagine the scenario, nobody could have imagined a scenario like this. But it seems like, let's say, a big city. How are they going to clear an entire city without actually nuking it, without actually destroying it? Well, this is the only way, through a virus. They're going to clean it out, and that's what they're doing. Alright, hope this has been helpful to you.